Hello, and welcome to my second tutorial on the fretless classical guitar. Today I'm going to be talking about a very important expressive device, and that is vibrato, the oscillation of a pitch by moving your finger back and forth. There are two types of vibrato. One is the rolling method of your finger, and the other is where you're actually sliding your finger back and forth. By far the one I use more frequently is the rolling of my finger. And I've developed this from listening to cellists and other string players as much as guitar players. So a standard bit of advice, if you are a cellist in developing vibrato, would be to hold up your right arm like this, and then put your left hand on the forearm, moving it like this, slowly getting smaller with your motions until you have that, and then applying that to the instrument. Two things, though, in order to do this well. Number one, you have to have a relaxed hand. If your hand is tense, it's not going to sound good. Number two, realize that the motion comes from the forearm and the hand, not from the fingers. Pitch. If this is the pitch, I don't, when I roll my finger, roll it sharp and flat surrounding the pitch like this. If I do, it will come out sounding sharp. I don't want that. I actually center the pitch, roll it flat, roll it to the center. So if I do that, it sounds much more in tune. A standard bit of advice to develop this would be to play a scale very slowly, applying vibrato to every note. Centering the pitch, adding vibrato. And of course, with vibrato, you can change the speed, the intensity, depending on the emotional characteristics. It all depends on what you want. The second type of vibrato is much more dramatic, and it's something I use less frequently. And that's where I'm actually sliding my finger back and forth, creating a much wider vibrato, sharp and flat. I usually do this when the music is much more dramatic, much more energetic. So you heard in that context, I was doing that. I wanted a very wide vibrato. If I did that type of vibrato in this context, it would sound exaggerated and not appropriate and not as good. That's the other important thing about vibrato, which is you don't want to have just one vibrato. You want to have different vibratos for different musical circumstances. I like to use improvisation not only as a creative tool, but as a technical tool. Let's do this. Take an open string A, use that as a drone, and play a melody, let's say from your A natural minor scale, again, against that. On the longer notes, add vibrato. We'll continue by changing the drone to a D note. And then to the E note. Finally, returning to the A. Putting it all together, and you heard the vibrato applied to the longer notes. Of course, depending on your skill level, you can be as ambitious with this exercise as you want. How wide that vibrato was? But that was much more shallow. Happy playing!